In Los Angeles, last night's game between the Dodgers and the San Diego Padres went on as planned, despite about 100 demonstrators showing up to protest the presence of federal agents at Dodgers Stadium and the team's lack of response to recent immigration raids around the city.
ICE out of Dodger Stadium! ICE out of Dodger Stadium! ICE out of LA! ICE out of LA!
Now, earlier in the day, dozens of masked agents arrived in vehicles at a parking lot near one of the gates. The Dodgers say ICE agents requested permission to access the parking lot, but the team says it denied the agents entry and told them to leave. The Department of Homeland Security says the agents were from Customs and Border Protection, not ICE, and it had nothing to do with the Dodgers. An appeals court has cleared the way for President Trump to continue using National Guard troops in response to anti-ICE protests in Los Angeles. The president praised the big win on social media, writing that if, quote, our people need protection, we're the ones to give it to them, should state and local police be unable. However, California Governor Gavin Newsom focused on how judges rejected the administration's arguments that the courts don't have the power to review whether the president is allowed to call up the guard, writing, quote, the president is not a king and is not above the law. For more on this, we're joined by immigration attorney Hector Quiroga. Hector, thanks so much for joining us. First off, break down this ruling and what implications it could have between the judicial and the executive branches.
It all has to do with jurisdiction, and although seemingly it leaves the National Guard and the federal executive power in these areas to control chaos and rioting and why not, it also opens the door for a review of an executive power over military affairs. And that is a very important precedent that will be debated in the Court of Appeals likely, but it opens the door to at least challenge certain executive power.
Now, Hector, Democrats have accused the president of weaponizing law enforcement to silence political opponents. Representative Greg Casar spoke to our Major Garrett about this. Let's take a listen to that.
To me, it's clear that the Trump administration is wanting to intimidate anyone who disagrees with them. They want to silence voices that are voices of dissent by saying, well, you could get arrested or you could get hurt without consequence. And that is growing autocracy in this country.
And in recent weeks, we've seen at least 5 Democratic lawmakers arrested, detained, or handcuffed. Now, Hector, how different is this from what we've seen in the past? And are there grounds for a legal battle?
I think it is different in the sense of how the tactics and how both the different ideologies are actually challenging executive power, how much open have been in open forums to challenge certain government action. Now the government decision to arrest and take judges or even senators is also something that is different. Now we have several instances of this happening. The question is this even statistically significant, right? Is it because they are Democrats, or is it because they are speaking against the government, or is it because of the display has been done in not in a respectful way or in a way that is breaking some sort of law? Just because we have freedom of speech doesn't mean we can cross the line. And I think this is the big question here. Is it a question of ideology, or is it a question of how it's being carried out? And that's what we need to look at with bigger numbers, correct?
Now, I also want to ask about this. A judge has also ruled that the Trump administration can't require states to cooperate with ICE to get transportation funding. Are there other avenues that the administration can take to force states to comply?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the courts is one of them. Try to move different areas of the purse of the government to get to that point. But I think a quick pro quo, if you do this and I won't do that, is something that the court is very much frowning upon, right? Like we pass laws for transportation, federal highways. Can we have something completely unrelated, like immigration, be attached to this? It seems to be a quick pro quo way, and that probably won't be that. Now, other avenues could be the courts. Very much.
All right, Hector Quiroga, thanks so much for joining us.